Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, featuring today a 1 vs 1 on direct trains. No 2 vs 2's real interest has so far come past, or at least we've not have time to look at them. Again, university does make me slightly busy, plus of course all other sorts of fun stuff. We shall be watching in Nullpointerexception fighting for the Panzer Elite, fighting for the 107th Panzerbrigade, really the only sort of somewhat standard Panzer formation to really take on the British during the entire Operation Market Garden. Opposing them shall be IronRoman, fighting once more for the fighting for the Irish Armoured Guards as well, leading the way towards Arnhem. Kettenkraut heading westwards. 2 Kettenkraut starting in fact to sort of seize as much territory initially as possible, and rather what IronRoman is getting is rather interesting. He's actually getting a Bren carrier first, which I suppose is not unusual, and then second, he's getting a headquarters command truck, and he's yet to actually move it, and he's taking a point so far ahead. I mean, he's not really going to get any advantage from it. I mean, certainly this is going to be probably where he's going to be laying down his start, but I mean, he's not really gaining a lot of resources. And of course, already here, Nullpointerexception is seizing quite a lot within the first few minutes of the game. First Panzerbrigade squad arrives to take on the fight for the fatherland. Infantry section right here. Panzerbrigade moving away. And another infantry section out. Was closer getting a second munitions point, but again it didn't happen. Again, he's got barely any territory connected at all. If any, in fact. He's got this and he's got that. So I mean, already there's probably some issues going to be appearing. Panzerbrigade slowly advancing, linking up with another squad, Gewehr 43 equipped, and reconnaissance section coming under fire. Panzerbrigade is moving in, and yes, there was the 9th and 10th SS Panzer Division as well, but they were rather exhausted after the whole fighting in Normandy. One was in fact being shipped back to Germany for refitting and re-equipping. But generally they did not really have a lot of armor, and again the main sort of formation to really provide any, despite being rather inexperienced, was the 107th Panzer Brigade. What the 9th and 10th SS have, which they've used excellently against the airborne insertions around Arnhem, was the fact they had been trained to fight paratrooper insertions, or invasions for that matter. You like to call them. They had been specifically trained to that as part of the 2nd SS Panzer Corps back when they were formed back in Normandy 1943. But we are seeing the Bren carrier now with an infantry section in it, providing some protection for the chaps in it. Panzer goes pulling back. We're seeing 3 squads, 1 man down though. Helmut bites the dust. Oh dear, 2 down already. Panzergunners continue to fire away, pulling away even slightly further. 4th squad of Panzergrenadiers out. Still no structures as of yet. Still nothing connected, but we are seeing a lieutenant out, and we are finally seeing the headquarters command truck moving. What a miracle! And of course, troops in the Bren carrier can capture territory, but they do take it at a slightly slower rate, if I'm not mistaken, than if they were standing out on their own. So of course there's that slight penalty, but of course at the same time they can do so rather safely. Panzer squad getting caught up there by a reconnaissance section. Taking some minor losses, quickly popping into a small hole for cover. Recce chaps are pushing in. There we go, the Bren carrier rushing in, filled to the brim with Tommies, ready for action. And the Panzergunners quickly found themselves run off. Nullpointerexception not quite hanging much luck. And there we go though, Kampfgruppe company up. Not surprising to see that. Bren carrier moves in, reconnaissance chap down, and sniping one of the Panzergrenadiers rather brusquely. And there we go, full retreat, and we are seeing a Panzer command going up, so he's rushing for the armoured cars in the hopes of overcoming the infantry sections and the Bren carriers, but at the same time he is actually gaining a large part of the map. Although now at this stage IronRoman is finally making some recovery and finally actually gaining some ground. Also moving in for the cutoff point to actually deny this fuel point, at least temporarily, to the Panzer Brigade of the Panzer Brigade, and focusing all of his Panzergunners to get that Panzer command up as swiftly as humanly possible. Not surprising that. At the same time, trench going down here to provide protection just in case the command truck gets assaulted, he doesn't finish it because, you know, someone might sneak in and pop into it who might not be British. Instead, he almost finishes, and then he can just, as soon as it's needed, finish it and then pop in. Although usually you will see it slightly more finished than this. Point being secured by the kitten crowd. British infantry moving up and recovering as much territory right here, using the brain cave, of course, to simply ignore the need again. So, well, ignore the speed penalty without either being a reconnaissance section or having a lieutenant. Plus, of course, also Spartan protection. Another trench going down, but we are seeing 4 squads pushing in. Kitten crowd's going in to take that fuel point away, and there we go. Full retreat right there from IronRoman. Panzerbrigade is charging ahead. Several Gewehr 43s equipped. No assault rifles. That could have been nice, since he has the Panzerbrigade command up now. Not able to finish the trench. Slowing down 2 sections. Going to make them much less mobile. And just charging in. A pretty brutal assault by the men of the Panzerbrigade. Losses are being inflicted. We are seeing the lieutenant hiding in the... I absolutely know what... way of knowing what's standing right there. And oh, he lost a lieutenant. Panzergrenadiers are on the full retreat now, with the Bren carrier charging in from behind, but still, those were a bit of a nasty loss there to lose your lieutenant that early on. Plus, of course, the infantry section losses. Kettenkraut taking a bit of fire, and Kettenkraut here might try to recover what's lost. And there we go. The first armored car is ready. Leichte Panzerspähwagen with another one probably on the way. We might see this Bren carrier get a nasty armored car ship surprise, and there we go. Auto cannon tearing into the rather light armor of the Bren carrier, not really built for such combat, or firepower for that matter. And we might see the Bren carrier soon lost. And there we go, Bren carrier lost. And oh my goodness, someone stuck in the fender and in the wheels. Poor Barry and Larry, they're stuck. Oh, the inhumanity. Just look at it. He's stuck in the headlights now. That's... oh, dear. How gruesome. How cruel. And looks like, though, he finally fell out. It definitely must have been a shocking sight for the Brits to see their friends dangling from the armoured car like that, as some gruesome trophy of war. Quickly repairing up the armoured car, though. That is good. Second ready. Panzergun is getting reinforced. Infantry section taking up here, perhaps blocking position just in case, you know, having a good protection against the armoured cars. Although they might fare a bit better if they had Bren guns, which they don't. We are seeing a field support truck arriving. Oh, there we go. Bren guns are arriving from the south, opening up and retreating. The infantry section left behind, and the rather large administrative building right there, cut off from their friends. All the Bren gunners are going to try and perhaps finish off that trench. We are seeing a Vickers machine gun emplacement up as well, to provide protection against any further base rushes. This is not unusual to see from the British players. And the chaps in there are taking heavy losses. They're getting shot at a lot. All the Panzergunners outside trying to get in are certainly also bleeding a bit. And there we go, popping out down to 2 men. Will they succeed in escaping? Looks like they managed, but just barely. At the same time, Panzer Support Command up might be that Nullpointerexception, of course, is a bit worried about a Stuart light tank, but only sappers on the way. Plus, of course, the focus fire could help against a bit against British infantry as well. Now, Casual King Station up. This is good. This is definitely going to help with any future losses. So, an excellent move. 3 victory points going into the hands of the 107th Panzer Brigade. Armoured car getting repaired again. All one moving in, but a bit too much firepower right here. Brens and Vickers. Casualty clearing station is up. And the Brits are suffering a bit there. Incendiary grenades getting lobbed into the trench. It is no longer a trench but a barbecue pit. And there we go, deleting it so they can get out. Oh, they are taking losses. Sappers are arriving as well. They are decent combat troops. In fact, you know, more or less the same as infantry section. Of course, they can't get any anti-infantry upgrades like the infantry sections. Plus, they're slightly less in numbers, but still, Reinforcing. Medics just pulling in the wounded, and oh, he is focusing them down, but we might actually see an infantry come together pretty quickly. Again, due to the rather close proximity, of course, to the casualty station. Armored cars continue to blast away. Auto cannons raking into British flesh in the hopes of killing them. Panzergrenadier down. Kenkart sneaking in, rather than realizing that is the center of everyone's attention and getting the devil out of there. Let's go look at Nullpointerexception and the Panzerbrigade. There we go, light anti-tank half-track up. Panzerbrigade upgrade as well. Might be he's preparing for a Panther battle group. Slit trench going down right in the middle of the railroad line, and thankfully though there's no trains passing, otherwise that might be a bit awkward. No focused fire by the looks of it from the half-track, although managed to get one Tommy. Is he actually using focused fire? Bit hard to tell, but there we go, the armored cars are joining in. 3 kills already. And the medics once more moving in to pick up the wounded. And then gets blasted by the half-track. Sappers waiting in the trench, feeling slightly awkward. At the same time, Kenkrat getting run off by a recce section in the east. Jaeger command upgrade, defensive operations. Kenkrat getting repaired. Not a lot to really hold up things here, just a few armored cars. He could perhaps try to put up the pressure, but that would require a mortar half-track, and so far he doesn't have that. Otherwise he might in fact be able to blast through with incendiary rounds. And he could of course also try to flank up here, perhaps get the Panzerx on one squad and simply hammer this position from the buildings. Definitely a few possibilities right there. Armored cars are arriving in from the flank. More trenches getting prepared. Infantry section suffering heavy losses to the light anti-tank half-track. Lots of defense veterancy for the armored cars. Veterancy level 2 in fact for this one already. Infantry sections getting mauled rather nastily, and apparently this armored car will be featuring in Company 2 as the Wehrmacht armored car instead of the heavy one. We'll be getting a slightly lighter one, although again the looks has apparently also been confirmed. Infantry section down to 2 men, holding out in the trench, raking the Hun with Bren gun fire, and quickly getting out of there as they realize too many Panzergrenadiers have arrived. Still no sign of a mortar half-track to blow out the Brits from their hidey holes. Lieutenant uncovered by the armor car. Oh, and he went down. Another lieutenant died. British are contained, but they are growing stronger for every second. More incendiary grenades on the trenches, and in fact he does get a Panzerschreck. Though he's also quickly run off. More armored car fire. Bren gun is advancing. A bit of veterancy gained. Then the Panzergrenadiers. Offensive veterancy is of course always good with the Gewehr 43s. The Brits are simply getting torn up. 2 Bren gun sections by the way, and of course already 1 section has been put together from the casualty cleaning station. Armored car advance is a bit too close, and we are seeing PS up. Still no mortar half-track. Trains is getting knocked out before they are finished. And there we go, the Panther battle group has been made ready for call-in. But having a bit of trouble really punching through here. Brits reinforcing. Talking about the weather. Still most of the map is in the hands of the Panzer Elite, and Luftwaffe support is being called in from Students' 1st Fallschirmjäger Army, which was there to largely hold large parts, in fact, of Holland, although largely, of course, while it was designated as a Fallschirmjäger Army, I mean, certainly there were lots of Fallschirmjäger divisions. I mean, they were rather more alongside the strength of a Luftwaffe field divisions, and again, these were not, you know, the most well-trained traps, basically Luftwaffe personnel with some Fallschirmjäger equipment, and told they were Fallschirmjägers. Nice push up here by the British infantry. Although again with that lieutenant they are a bit slow. Might get, oh, catching the anti-tank half-track in a nasty position. And good night. Out of control. Rather sudden and swift advance. Lots of munitions being floated. No attempt at even equipping one chap with an assault rifle. Bit of a shame, bit of a shame. And the reconnaissance section keeps pushing up the east.
We are losing ground.
Will there be a swift German counterattack? Well, there'll be some armoured cars to deal with these fellows. And no butterfly mines either, since he actually has them, and so far no Fallschirmjägers either. In fact, one trick could be to actually pop in some Fallschirmjägers from here, and that is infiltrate them. And then, of course, actually attack this machine gun emplacement from the rear. Assault up through here. IronRoman trying to dig in, establishing a nice frontal defensive position. Right outside the base. Although, of course, in there we go. Incendiary grenades going to burn out the Brits. Quickly sending that away. And armor cars coming in to see if they can't cut down at least one section on the retreat. And we might see it happen. No, he actually gets away. Lucky bastard. Or should I say jammy bastard. And we are seeing a 17-pounder gun going up. He might be, of course, worrying now that there might be a Panther battleground. Of course, that's certainly not uncommon to see. So there we go. Something to stop that. With the mighty 17-pounder gun. Also the largest anti-tank gun in Company Heroes so far, really. Although with Company Heroes 2, we will be getting the Pack 40, which was certainly also quite the efficient anti-tank gun, and certainly also the more common one at this stage of the war. But there we go, Panthers arriving, rolling in. British infantry pushing out once more. And there we go, shot from the 17-pounder gun.
We are losing a sector.
And rifle grenades up as well. Panther takes a direct hit from the 17-pounder gun. I want to get out of there. A rather large skirmish going on here. Panthers hammering in. Machine guns roaring from the Panthers. Armor cars firing away. Panzer guns getting pushed away. One squad, in fact, going down, I fear. And there we go. And more fire from the 17-pounder gun. Might be an idea to pull away those Panthers. Just a suggestion. And another attempt at harassment quickly stopped by swift armoured car patrol. Finally getting the mortar half-tack. Although now with the one squad less. Still no upgrades for these chaps. Still no assault rifles, which I think still could work nicely. And Henschel strafing runs prepared as well. Interesting. Another push. Another blobbed up horde advancing. Panthers finding way. Although again, rather too close to the range of the 17-pounder gun. He might even risk losing this Panther. And good night. Panther is lost.
Achtung. The enemy is attacking. Comfortable victory point.
Brits pushing up there, here, and trying to regain that victory point there as well to stop the drain of victory points. Which is definitely not a bad idea. Still no real armor so far from IronRoman. Armored car getting hit a bit there. The mortar half-track is up. Could try to drop down some incendiary rounds, I suppose. Just bombard with the regular rounds. And there we go. Going to be a long fight though, if he's just going to try and knock that out. Using only that mortar half-track.
The enemy is attempting to seize a fuel point from us.
Nice harassment right there by IronRoman. Going for the victory point again.
Supply lines are broken. Our forward supply lines are broken.
And of course, the question is, what will Nullpointerexception be doing for next? Kettenkrad down, trying to reconnect the fuel and the munitions. Oh, the inhumanity. Return fire from the mortar half-track, which in fact largely what a Panzerbrigade had to rely on for any sort of artillery. That was basically a half-track and a mortar. Mortar and a half-track. Oh dear, that just sounded completely daft, didn't it? My apologies. Mortar though getting hammered. Panzers pushing forwards, getting blasted with Pied rounds, charging right up to the Bren guns. Though lots of offensive veterancy does manage stand still. No upgrades on this, no assault rifle, and there we go. I mean, he's got plenty of munitions for it, and he's not using it on anything else. Really? This squad though needs to retreat. Not in a good condition. Catching up here with an infantry section. Butterfly bombs here, proving a problem for the rifle grenadiers. And the armoured cars quickly follow up with a few shots to the rear. And let's return to IronRoman and the Irish Armoured Guards. And of course, the British were not the only ones to actually use rifle grenades in the war. They apparently just decided to have them only for the British, I suppose. But the Germans and the Americans certainly also had. In fact, the Germans even had rifle anti-tank grenades. So a bit of quiet there. Of course, the question is, what will Nullpointerexception next move? Oh! Captain now the one to be gunned down. A high turnover rate of officers right here. And there we go. Come on. Not sure what's suddenly going on. Back into the action with the armoured cars flown back, but at the same time the British lads also flown back on this. Next wave follows up with slit trenches, sappers and all other sorts of goodies, and of course a lot of butterfly bombs getting detonated in their faces. Sadly, minesweepers is rarely on the British program, so that's certainly something a Axis commander can actually take advantage of, although of course reconnaissance sections can spot them if they stand still. Panzerbrigade moving up. Lieutenant here caught a bit. The Panther moving in. The Panther all alone without its comrade, blown up by the 17-pounder gun. Bit of problem there with the Bren gunners in the trench. Half-track, of course, could burn them out, or of course some Panzer grenades with a few incendiary grenades could sort it out. And there we go, some British troops moving up. Counter mortar fire though. Oh, well, mortar fire generally, since there's not much to counter there. Gets one fellow. Armor cars swiftly getting repaired. Panther moves up. Sappers could be almost securing that victory point, which would hand over all three to the hands of IronRoman and the Irish Guards. And looks like this half-track took a bit of damage there. Second oh dear, that's a bit of a bug right there. Occasionally it can happen still that you're calling a Panther battle group, but you only get one Panther, and that's just basically, well, 1,000 manpower for only one Panther. I suspect Nullpointerexception is not exactly happy about that exception, which can happen still, but it is pretty rare. Of course, the question is, would he really need more Panthers, or perhaps a Panzer IV supported by some Martyrs perhaps to help with this? And of course, some Fallschirmjägers to then pop up here. I mean, what he really needs is sort of pull off one really excellent assault on this position and really do a lot of damage. And again, he needs something to, well, strike from this angle to sort of hit from here, and of course force them to sort of spread out the defense, because again, if you're trying to hit the British at their sort of strongest point, I mean, you might actually end up taking a lot of beatings without doing a lot of damage. You usually want to use mobility, and in particular as the Panzerbrigade, you really want to use mobility to sort of hit them where they're not strong, to do damage there. Brits right here taking some nasty losses. 3 Tommies down in seconds. Panzer goes up on the flank still. No assault rifle again. I would like to see some Sturmgewehrs on these chaps. And again, what also made the Panzerbrigades a bit interesting was that their Panzer gunners were actually rather uniquely equipped, largely with assault rifles, which again will also make the Panzer lead a bit more than Panzerbrigade, since again they can't really get the LMG for their troops, whereas they have plenty of assault rifles. Panzerbrigades will need to retreat, and there we go. The infantry section also suffered a bit due to the fire launched down by the mortar half-track, and of course the armor cars. And what is this? A priest has been called in to deliver a sermon of something, probably high explosive. Firing towards the east, and is that a creeping barrage? That's interesting. Why would he go with a creeping barrage like that? If it is, I mean, it rather looks like it. I'm not entirely sure. Still bloody weird. I have absolutely no idea what he intended to do with this, except perhaps, frighten Nullpointerexception, which rather seems to have happened. I mean, he's just, oh no, stuff goes boom, run, or something like that. Of course, less than proper German attitude there. And which rather allows IronRoman to push forwards. Kettenkrad quickly cloaks. Not enough to really secure concentration against him. Armor cars both now defensive, veterancy free, which rather makes them tough, but it doesn't really help them kill Brits any faster. And there we go, mortar rounds falling down on the Horde as it advances. More artillery, Panthers firing away. Mortar rounds take more casualty, and there we go, artillery going down on the position of the armor cars, quickly forcing them away. Veterancy for the half track. Bren gunners getting blasted by the Panthers, and more defensive veterancy for them. Again, I do think actually offensive veterancy might be the key here to sort of quickly kill them, because again, I mean, the faster you can kill the Brits, of course, the more they don't have to reinforce. And that, plus, of course, they won't be able to get close to get any shots off. So, of course, that is my theory, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of players disagreeing. Of course, that is good. I'm not saying that it's the only possibility, but it would certainly be my take on things. And certainly, I mean, you should always try to be sort of open to other ideas than just one. Because it also usually means you might have a deeper understanding of things, how things work. Anyways, point being secure there. Good aggression from the British players, not just sitting about drinking tea, which was rather a accusation level against the actual Irish Guards during Market Garden, that they said about too much drinking tea. There certainly was some passiveness, although Montgomery certainly might also have had a hand in this, since he was rather absent during the actual operation, despite having planned it, which was a bit unusual since he was previously known for being the rather hands-on type. If something was not going right, he would usually sack the commander in charge and get things moving. But that did not happen during Market Garden, interestingly enough. Sabba's caught. Oh my goodness, Sabba's section almost down. Bren gunners pushing forwards. Panthers taking a bit of a hit right there. Armor cars blazing away. Panzerbrigade, mortar half track. Lots of death, lots of destruction. Full retreat from the Brits. And sadly, the Panzerbrigade is losing more and more territory, unable to really sort of push forwards. Again, not really the sort of configuration again. If only he could sort of hit the flanks, I think he could really do a lot of damage. Particularly in conjunction with some Fallschirmjägers. And I believe we also saw the Henschel strafing rounds. So again, combining that could also do a bit in an overall assault against the British positions. We're now seeing instead a Logistik Company. Wonder what he might be trying to get from there. That Nullpointerexception. Something exceptional, perhaps? Oh, what a terrible joke. Another push forward. Some few remaining behind, perhaps sending over to other pastures. But a sapper force with some Bren gunners in support. And another section reform. That is 2 sections reform. That is definitely nice. Armor cars holding up. Pied rounds not really hitting. Sappers caught in the middle of the road and going down. A few clutching their stomachs, desperately wishing there will be a medic to pick them up. And swiftly some do arrive. Panthers roll in. Quite missing the troops in negative cover. That's a bit of a disappointment. Though already, I mean, 9 and 3 kills is not entirely bad. Again, I do believe they have yet to actually earn themselves in even the slightest.
Germans are seizing territory.
And again, Nullpointerexception seems to have lost a bit of his aggressive ghost. Perhaps he's gone a bit too much on the defensive.
Ready to fill the day.
Now facing off against 5 infantry sections, 2 sapper sections, plus of course the priest. The mighty priest with 2 kills, most intimidating. Another push by the British. Right into the Panthers' line of 5. Panzerbrigade might want to stay into cover. And he's got another Gewehr 43. Again, assault rifle. I think at least one would have helped. Just a bit of, different in firepower. And we are seeing a second priest arrive. More armor being sent in to support the push. And the response is the Luftwaffe squad. Mighty in appearance. Well, no, not really. Certainly there was a lot of Luftwaffe personnel fighting during Market Garden, although they were more in the Fliegerhorst battalion, which were basically, well, free air crews, I mean Panzer, I think, and such, which simply couldn't be used, so they were formed into these forces alongside Schiffstamm, which were basically the same except with Kriegsmarine personnel, which were also sent in.
Yes, sir.
I mean, in fact, that was rather the interesting thing. I mean, a lot of the forces were very lightly trained German troops with barely any training of actual military training. I mean, I think there was also a full-scan division, but I mean, that's about it. Otherwise, I mean, you really saw sort of hordes of either spare Luftwaffe or Kriegsmarine personnel, or even Reichsarbeitsdienst, which were equipped with old rifles or British rifles and sent into the fight. And the Howards actually, or the Priest got the mortar half-track. Definitely a bit unfortunate there, even blowing up the wreck, I think. Definitely going to make it impossible for a Bergtiger to recover that. I mean, there was even a Dutch marching band who fought during Arnhem. An SS marching band, of course, but that was also pretty much the only European Western, I mean, you know, non-German SS who fought on the Western Front. Really, if I'm not mistaken. Well, of the Western type. Anyways, you know, from Western Europe. Sort of little fun thing. Panthers rolling about. British forces pushing ahead. Heavily armed. And we are seeing a flak battery going up. Well, one flak, and not entirely sure that is what he wants. I suspect something more against the British infantry work, again a Panzer IV perhaps, and against some solution to knocking out then, and then basically just charging and doing as much damage. I mean, the flak is, I mean, if he's worrying about an armor assault, I mean, he's not going to see that, because again, his opponent's clearly, this IronRoman is clearly lining up for infantry. And a Panzerbrigade escort got wiped out in second. Panthers firing away, sending away the infantry section, fortifying the flak with sandbags. Sappers moving towards these to cut off the resources there. Recce sent away. And we are seeing increased squad sizes out for Nullpointerexception, but he is losing more and more infantry. He's in fact down to just 2 squads and... Oh! Interesting. I actually didn't know there would be smoke, but I mean, it's rather curious looking smoke for the creeping barrage. Fun, fun. And there we go, Panzer is charging ahead, and we're seeing, oh, anti-tank grenades. He's going for it. And the flak battery went down to the creeping barrage. Sneaky, sneaky. Well, artillery and sneaky are rather, you know, opposites. So yeah, let's not call it sneaky, but nonetheless nasty. Need to retreat from here. Oh, armored car out of control. The artillery is simply murdering the forces of Nullpointerexception. He's also lost the Luftwaffe squad. This is horrific. He is getting rather violently pushed back, and quickly IronRoman replaces the lost 17-pounder gun with a fresh one. And the Panther on the left got its main gun destroyed, looking pretty sad in the process. Oh, I can't, not looking too good. The other Panther, though, is still reasonably combat fit with a machine gun on top. But things could generally, though, look a lot better. A fresh Luftwaffe squad arriving. Troops moving up. He needs to move away, that Panther. Oh, yeah, that is pretty close to actually getting hit. And, of course, the flak is also rather exposed. Nullpointerexception really needs to move forward and do something. I mean, he's actually got a... I mean, he could infiltrate a fortune maker squad from here, and then he could call in the Henschel strafing run here and hopefully get both priests. I mean, that could actually reasonably work, I think. Rather seems to be not happening. More artillery going in here against the suspected position for the Panther getting repaired. Need to get it away. Probably also trying to knock out the flak, which is not really doing much.
The enemy is seizing our territory.
Points are being lost. The Panzerbrigade is suddenly losing a lot of ground after a nice start. It has lost spirit and flexibility in the face of IronRoman. Squad taking up position, but taking some rather intense fire as a rather vast horde of Brits moves up, blasting the building in question with all sorts of nasty munitions and bullets. Flak has been recruited by Luftwaffe troops and takes another hit and immediately kills the crew.
The enemy has struck.
Panther needs to get away. Brits are advancing. Armor cut. Oh, Luftwaffe troops, you need to retreat. Panzerbrigade is not doing too well here against the reconnaissance section.
Losing a sector.
This is going rather sore for Nullpointerexception and 107th Panzerbrigade. Flak suddenly being the target of the Panthers before it turns on them. Oh dear, it might off. Oh, that was bloody close, but the sappers get the Panther. They get the veterancy too, Panther even. This is horrific.
Territory out of supply.
The losses are incredibly high. 12 and 3 kills, plus of course some vehicle kills. Definitely not a happy moment for Nullpointerexception.
Luftwaffe ready.
Steady up, squad.
Brits are reinforcing, though they have also lost a bit, methinks. In fact, he might have lost a few infantry sections. I think he might have lost 2 actually, if not 3. So, I mean, certainly Nullpointerexception is doing some damage, but the return damage I think is a bit too high for him, and he's getting more Panzer in his squads, and he's also equipping them with Gewehr 43 again. I think at least one assault rifle might help, you know. Bergetig out to try and recover the Panther and perhaps anything else lost.
Supply lines are broken. We have territory cut off from supply.
An infantry section could be cut down, yes indeed, by the offensive veterans Panzergrenadiers. But we are seeing a rather vicious battery barrage being levelled against the Panzergrenadiers. And Overwatch! Oh dear, airburst shells absolutely turn one to mush. Oh my goodness! And again, the Germans also had access to airburst shells, so did, well, Allies as well, so I mean, yeah.
Our forward supply lines are broken.
Nice hit right there. Panther almost put together. That was definitely a devastating barrage. More trenches going up. IronRoman advances slowly closer and closer to the Panzer Brigade's base. The Bergtiger almost done with the Panther. Panzergrenadiers reinforcing again. And another push by the Brits. Trying to get that Bergtiger before it finishes with, and oh dear, it could be lost! It could be lost!
We are losing a sector.
No, it manages! Panther's back in action! And the Brits were sent away. The Bergtiger wasn't lost either. That was insanely close.
Forward supply lines are broken.
Panzergrenadiers and Luftwaffe troops pushing forward in one rather densely packed force, gunning down medics indiscriminately. Now it's time for vengeance, not recovery of the wounded. And quickly Overwatch though turns about and threatens to break up the Panzergrenadiers in the most literal of manners. So far though, the Overwatch is falling too short. 17 pounders gone. You need to retreat. Rückzugmänner. Oh dear, that's bloody close, and already a few men are lost. Oh dear, but it looks pretty damn impressive with those airburst shells. One definitely has to give them that. Though also pretty rare you actually see airburst shells used like that. It's really sort of break up in for assault, so that's nice. Panthers now in the middle of everything. More artillery now being leveled once more. No more airburst shells, which can't really deal with the Panthers. Panthers are charging directly into the Lion's Den. What are you doing, Nullpointerexception? You could lose yourself. Panzer, we're seeing Henschel strafing runs. Infantry section down. Panther, though, getting buttoned down. And there we go. Priest takes hits from the Henschel. I fear that this Panther might get lost. At least try and finish off the Priest. And there we go. One Priest is down. Defrocked, if you will. Second Panther needs to escape as well. Panzerbrigade securing the east somewhat. Infantry getting caught though by the Veteran C3, and again 4-man with Veteran C3 and Gewehr 43s is a very nasty package.
Ready, Commander. Ready to send your mission order.
Definitely a rather grim situation, and a Firefly is now out. That is definitely going to make things a lot less fun. And an artillery barrage in the hopes of getting one of the Panzerbrigade squads, and quick retreat right there. Nice reflexes from Nullpointerexception, returning to IronRoman. Firefly actually took some damage from a Henschel strafing, I think. More Fireflies on the way. Realizing now the time has come to probably finish off those damn Panthers. Armor car functioning a bit as an early warning for any British assaults. Careful, don't advance that Panther too quickly. If only you had expert repairs as well, you could much faster finish off that job. Looks like you might actually have. And repairing the bag to you as well. Fallschirmjäger is now actually joining the field. From Kurt Stugen's Fallschirmjäger army, although one drops. Left behind by his comrades as the rest get into the Pitlevsky building. Firefly number 2 rolls out. And again, using them with the command tank is definitely a nice thing as it increases the rate of fire, amongst other things. And now the Fallschirmjägers are coming under severe assault. Bren gunners moving up, and 2 sappers teams filled to the brim with Piats versus 3 Fallschirmjägers already a bit wounded. And looks like the Panthers are moving in, taking heavy fire from the Fireflies. And why did he call it in there? That's too close to yourself. The Fireflies could easily escape. Now that's, I think, quite silly. And definitely not getting his full worth of Henschel. In fact, Panther already lost again. Why did you not call in close to the base of those? Let's move for them to escape in. I mean, that was an absolutely terrible use of a Henschel strafing run, in fact. I mean, you should not expect your opponent to stay around once you've called it in, so usually try to place it close to them so they actually don't have as much time to get out of it. Instead of what you did there, which was rather allowing them to easily get away. Panzer is getting torn to bits. Artillery going in. Fallschirmjägers holding out still. 5 Bren gunners also holding out. Both Panthers look to be gone. Fallschirmjäger still holding out. Lots of fire being exchanged here. Oh dear, looks like a Fallschirmjäger went down, and there we go, armored car arriving just in the nick of time. But these Fallschirmjägers, well, this Fallschirmjäger needs to get back home and get reinforced. Back to getting repaired once more. Resources are mildly put, highly limited. Not a lot of units left, in fact. Not a lot of anything left, in fact. And the Luftwaffe troops really haven't seen any combat. Which I suppose could be argued as a bit of a waste of them. More trenches going down. Holding on to that central victory point, although the edges have been lost. And there we go, the last Fallschirmjäger making it back home. Rifle Grenadier section moving up. Panzer Grenadiers also moving up. Again, heavily equipped with Gewehr 43. Bit of veterancy. 2 rifle grenades go in. Oh, none really hit. What a shame. And of course, he could use, some suppressive volley fire right here to hit their heads down while he pushes in. Perhaps gets off an incendiary grenade. Instead, he's standing out in the open, making himself a nice target for any incoming rifle grenades. Perhaps not the most useful option. And we are seeing another Panther battle group arriving. More Panthers. Bergtiger advances, heads first. Could be trying to recover that Panther. Panther's going to take up position here, getting blasted a bit. Armored car forcing away the Bren gunners. And recovering that Panther. Will it happen? Will it happen? rather risky operation. And again, not really how it happened. Never mind, the Berg Tiger wasn't really a Berg Tiger, it was more of a demolition tiger. All of a sudden there will be something like a mechanic to this in Company 2, of course, except instead of using a tank to recover, you will have engineers doing this work. And of course you'll apparently also need someone to actually crew the tank afterwards, some infantry or something like that. Oh yeah, he lost the Berg Tiger. Not recovering that Panther, that was definitely a no-win situation. He needs the armored cavalry here to support. Again, it's not really doing well. And a 17-pounder gun up as well. And artillery going. Oh my goodness. Just wrecking the wrecks. He does not want Nullpointerexception to be able to recover this. No exceptions. And he hasn't even forced the Fallschirmjäger. He's just moving that poor lonely bastard to move out here and get killed. How cruel. How crude. Bren Gunner's getting blasted by the Panthers. And some Luftwaffe troops moving up as well. Rather bold of them. And quickly ends in a lot of pain before the rest are run off. Victory points are draining down though, and let's speed this up a bit. Rather long match. And not a lot happening as such at the moment. Panzerbrigade getting pushed further and further back. Losses mounting.
Sappers ready. You have your fucking head! Alright, ready to receive.
A few butterfly bombs going off. A lot of another creeping barrage. Assault by the Panzer Grenadiers. Armored car rolls in. Ooh, another lieutenant could be going down. Certainly a lot of lieutenants dying. Panzerbrigade here running into a nasty Firefly. Bren Gunners run off. Panthers still there.
Front lines are under attack. We're losing a sector.
And more hits from that priest. Oh! Denying access to the victory point with some nice Overwatch airburst shells.
A victory point is being overrun.
Oh dear, he's lost line of sight, so he can't really fire anymore. What a shame. Oh dear. Panther went down in seconds, and that... I mean, no, most of the veterans levels 1 and 3 actually don't do anything, but veterans 2 actually increases the rate of fire even further. So, I mean, these Fireflies can just shoot like madmen. Or shoot much faster. Plus, I believe they actually gain some other bonuses as well, but... I mean, do not underestimate Fireflies being supported by a Veteran T2 command tank. They are evil. And definitely should be taken most seriously and much feared, in fact. Panzerbrigade still moving in, trying to dig out the Brits, though taking way too high casualties in the process. Panzerbrigade moving up, supported by Luftwaffe squads. Again, if you could only pop in some Fallschirmjägers in, do some damage, infiltrate, he might be able to really deliver a crippling blow, but it never really happens. Riot grenades flying through the air. Another infantry section reformed.
Territory from us.
That casualty station has definitely paid itself off many times over. And now he's actually just getting some Panzerjets because, well, he doesn't have much else. Although, again, when he has that many munitions, why get tank busters when you can just get regular Panzer Grenadiers to do the job? At least that would be my thought on the matter. More artillery to blast up the Panzer Grenadiers. Some Fallschirmjägers actually moving in. Although only 3 men. the Firefly column moving westwards, and let us, well, watch. Panther moving in, getting pelted with Piet, and we are seeing another Henschel strafing run again, a bit of kilter, although gets a few of the Fireflies. Oh dear, but the Panther goes out of control and he thus loses line of sight. Meaning, of course, the Henschel, the rest of the ability will be wasted. Sapper might go down. No.
Enemy unit eradicated.
Oh, wait, he did. Now it might be the job of the tank busters to try and turn this around, although surprisingly why didn't get more
We are
perhaps
losing
early
a
on.
sector to the Commonwealth.
Again, why didn't infiltrate some Fallschirmjägers behind enemy lines, and he looks... Oh, he lost the Fallschirmjäger as well. Getting caught out in the open, Vickers blasting away. Lots of other things shooting away at these poor bastards. Panzerbrigade offering what support they can. Rifle grenades flying. And Panzergrenadiers dying. That didn't definitely not work out for Nullpointerexception. The armored car holding the... No, it's not even holding the right victory point.
An infantry unit.
And another unit died. I fear that might have been the Luftwaffe troops. And he's going for another Panther battle group. Oh, he could get that infantry section, but no, it managed to escape. A grisly fate. Speeding things up again, I imagine you'll be getting another Panther battle group in the hopes that can turn the tide. He's actually still holding on to the terrain
Attention.
reasonably well. And no, he did not get it. What did he get instead? He's just getting several tank busters. Now he's apparently hoping on the might of the Panzerschreck to deliver him from the British terror.
Tank buster squad ready for orders.
Definitely one way of doing it, but will it be enough? I doubt it. Although again, there's not so much infantry left, and I mean, Fireflies are not really the best anti-infantry weapon. But of course, there's a Cromwell, which of course will also take benefit of the command tanks. So I mean, that will also be able to blast through the Panzergrenadiers in a rather short order. Tank busters moving in here, heading the infantry section and gunning them down. No, not even one dying. More artillery going in against here. Priest just keeps firing, and there we go, going for the victory point. Cromwell moving in, Brits moving in, Bren guns and rifle grenades, and there we go, one hit, 3 Panzergrenadiers dead. I mean, the Cromwell is quite good against infantry. Some nice high explosive rounds on it, and there we go, another 2 dead. Tank busters do not have high chances. And the Pidlevsky building comes to the last refuge. Down to 1 man, who will probably get gunned down and retreat. Another tank buster squad in, who also take another vicious hit from the Cromwell. And tank buster squad went down.
We must rally.
And GG from Nullpointerexception. IronRoman won the fight. The Panzerbrigade suffered too heavily and is forced to retreat. So of course the lessons here rather boil down to a bit of lack of maneuverability, a lack of sort of tactical maneuvering, which rather result in Nullpointerexception basically just trying to bash things in instead of perhaps using his Luftwaffe to sort of really get the advantage, drop in here, cause some confusion, and of course drop in a Henschel strafing run right in the middle of things, while then proceeding to push in with the assault from the front or from the flank or from even here. I mean, I think overall he was a bit too limited in what he actually used. Perhaps a Panzer IV could have helped with some armored skirts, of course, but also generally just some more aggressive use of Fallschirmjägers and other things. So I mean, the British player held on pretty nicely. Good use of the cancelling station and a bit of the emplacements as well. So there you go. Do hope you enjoyed this game. If you did, why not subscribe and tell your friends? And if you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own? This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.